Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWUS. It's Thursday, and we got a big UFC card coming. That underdog that you guys both agreed on in the early fights last week hit, so I'm definitely tailing some of these. I got the card open, but before we get into the main card, going to pass it over to these guys and see if there's any prelims they want to talk about. I'm positive they're going to have prelims they want to talk about. So, Bill, pick a prelim.
All right, the prelim I like is the Armen Petrosyan versus Brunno Ferreira fight. In that matchup, I'm on the Petrosyan side. He's minus 142 on DraftKings. Ferreira is plus 120 right now. It should be a good striking match. Petrosyan is a good technical kickboxer, while Ferreira is a really aggressive, early action Brazilian powerhouse. But I think he's a little undersized for middleweight, and I don't trust him past like one round. So I like Petrosyan stay out of danger, don't get clipped, and take over the fight as it gets into like round 2 and 3. I bet Petrosyan any way you want, like money line, but I also like I take a chance on Petrosyan in round 3 to win plus 900, because I think Ferreira will be out of gas, and it's just a matter if Petrosyan wants to step on the gas.
Teller, do you think Petrosyan is the pick here at minus 140?
So I do like some of the things that Bill was saying in regards to this matchup, but I am on the other side. I have a bit of an issue backing Petrosyan here as he comes in off a massive KO loss. I think it was the first time we've ever seen a fighter get hit with a double spinning back fist. That was that fight against Magomed. So he's coming in off his first knockout loss, and this dude Brunno Ferreira is just an absolute knockout artist. You take a look at his 12 victories, 9 of them have come by way of KO, and they're typically in the first round. But the thing that I like about that last fight that he had, even though he dropped that fight, he did take an L in his last fight against a high-level fighter in Abus Magomed. He went to the third round, but to Bill's point, right, he got finished in the third round, but I actually like some of the experience he got in that fight, finally going to the later rounds. He's still a fighter that's kind of in his prime year, so he should take something away from that loss. And I just think that he's going to find the mark. He's a shorter fighter, but he actually has a 1-inch reach advantage too, and he closes the distance pretty well.
All right, so we got a disagreement in the prelim. This will be a fun one. All right, so I'll side with Bill. Put up Petrosyan. I'll side with Bill on this one in the minus 140. All right, Teller, prelims. Oh, you have 2 prelims you wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah, there's one we could brush upon if anyone's looking for a nice little underdog pick. But first, I would like to talk about the Joshua Van versus Rei Tsuruya fight in the flyweight division. This fight's going to be action-packed. 2 young studs in this division. I'm not always so happy to see the UFC match young fighters like this up early in their careers. You know, sometimes it's good to let them progress and then have them match up down the line. But this fight's going to be fun. It's a stylistic clash. Joshua Van is a high-level striker, especially for his age. He pushes a crazy pace. I think he has a clear advantage on the feet. Rei Tsuruya, he continuously looks to get takedowns and uses wrestling and grappling. And if he doesn't have success doing that, I think he's going to be a little bit of a fish out of water. And Joshua Van is a fighter that, as he kicked off his UFC career, was taken down a little bit here and there, but he's looked sharper there as of recently, even in the Cody Durden fight, but a decently high-level grappler. He stuffed takedowns throughout that fight, took that fight over. I see Joshua Van keeping this fight standing and out-voluming Tsuruya. And Tsuruya kind of slowed down in his last fight in the third round. He dropped the third round. Joshua Van just picks things up as he goes. I like Joshua Van in that match there. And if you take a look at the line.
Go ahead.
Kyle.
Oh, no, I thought you were going to move on. I was going to say, let's let Bill talk about it, but I didn't know you were still talking about this one.
Okay, well, just real quick, in regards to the line, minus 175, I don't think that's out of reach.
Minus 175, Josh Van. Bill, you agree?
Yeah, I'm on the Van side as well. I've seen a lot of love for Tsuruya because of his grappling, and Van has a little bit of deficiency there. But I don't think it's – I mean, Tsuruya, maybe he does get him down, could submit him early, who knows. But like Teller said, the striking is miles apart. And Van, he starts slow, but second, third round, he's going to pick it up. And just like that Petrosyan fight I was saying, I like Van as a take a shot on him in round 3 at plus 1100, and I actually like that a lot more than the Petrosyan prop, because Van will go to the body, and you crack a tired fighter in the body and they'll go down. So yeah, I like the Van side.
So we're all on Van. You can put Van up for me. I don't know who either of these guys are, so I'll tail. And Teller, you said you had one more prelim before we move on to the main card.
Yeah, I thought this was a good fight just to touch upon. If anyone's looking for a solid underdog, people have mixed views on Rizvan Kuniev, who's taking on Curtis Blaydes. This is Rizvan's UFC debut, all right? And he's fighting the number 5 ranked heavyweight fighter. So just to put things into perspective here, Blaydes is a very proven fighter, but when he loses, he loses in a devastating fashion. He gets knocked out, and I know it's usually against high-level fighters like Tom Aspinall, Francis Ngannou, Derek Lewis. But I mean, this is a heavyweight bout. Kuniev has grappling skills. I could see him potentially keeping this fight standing. And Kuniev looks pretty polished on the feet. I like his performance he just had on Dana White's Contender Series. And I'm not as concerned as some people are, because the fight before the DWCS fight, he failed failed the drug test for everything. The whole kitchen sink, all types of performance enhancing drugs. But he looked good in the bounce back fight there. And I think that fight is a lot closer than Kuniev being a plus 275, plus 260 to a plus 275 underdog.
Wow, Curtis Blaydes fighting in the prelims. He was fighting for the championship. I feel like that wasn't that long ago, 2 years ago. So, wow.
Yeah.
You agree that it's worth a shot on the dog here, Bill?
Yeah, I mean, everybody that's picking Blaydes is hoping that he's going to wrestle. But, yeah, he's a great wrestler, but he just doesn't do it anymore. And all his losses are by knockout. Lost to Aspinall by knockout, Pavlovich by knockout, Derek Lewis. Early on in his career, Ngannou knocked him out. So, I mean, if he doesn't wrestle, you got 2 heavyweight guys going at it, and you got a guy at plus 275. Why not take the chance on him?
All right. Maybe take a home run swing on that one. But let's go ahead. Yeah, Curtis Blaydes must have his career must be on the downslope here if he's fighting in the prelim. I guess these pay-per-views, the prelims, the final prelim is kind of an official because it's the last one before you have to pay. So they I can see that.
Yeah.
All right. So we're moving on to the main card, and I'm just going to go in order here. At the very bottom, I have first up. I wish I knew the first names. K Green against M Ruffy. You guys take it away. Who wants to go first?
I'll go with this one. Yeah, it's Mauricio Huffy. The H's and the R's in Brazil, or that's how you say it. And then it's King Green. Used to be Bobby Green, but now he goes by King Green. The line is definitely wide, and like Green's a good veteran, but he just was getting he was getting pieced up by Paddy Pimblett, and desperation shot on a takedown and got submitted. So I think Huffy is he's untested, but he's a sharp striker, and maybe if Green is if he's losing a step, then Huffy could catch him with something. I can't blame people if they're going to take a shot on Green at those odds, but yeah, I think Huffy probably wins the fight.
Yeah, minus 500. Maybe you can get a price on him to win by knockout or something. Teller, what do you think?
Around even money.
Yeah, I like him to win inside the distance, just because after seeing Green in his last fight, the way he just shot in so sloppily against Paddy Pimblett, I think he can be finished any type of way. So I like Ruffy inside the distance, right around minus 150. He didn't have the best performance in his last fight, so people kind of took a step back on him. But everyone's still saying, if you look at his team, the Fighting Nerds, which there's just all these savages over there, Gene Silva, Carlos Prates, Kyle Bahailo, they're all saying that he's actually the most talented fighter from that camp. And I think we're going to see a bounce back performance here. If you watch this dude hit the pads, it's crazy. He moves like, I know, Kyle, you're not the biggest fan of McGregor. I'm just poking some fun, but he kind of moves like a prime Conor McGregor in there if you watch him hit the pads. And I could see him landing on Green. Green's about to be 39 years old. I mean, and he's recently been devastatingly finished too, right? He got finished by Jalin Turner, took about 30 unnecessary follow-up strikes. I don't know if that brain's going to hold up if he gets hit with the flush shot.
Yeah, I'm not a Conor McGregor hater. You said prime Conor McGregor too. I can get on board with that. So we have I hate how this doesn't show the first names. It's Lemos versus Lucindo is the second fight on the main card. Looks like Lucindo minus 135 favorite. So Teller, want to go first on this one?
Yeah. This actually, for all those people that are not the biggest fans of women's mixed martial arts, and some of the fights can be a little lackluster, this fight actually should be exciting. Both these girls bring it. If you think back to Iasmin Lucindo's UFC debut, who she took on a very talented up-and-comer too, and Iasmin Jauregui, they went at it. We saw some high-level striking from two young fighters there. Amanda Lemos is notoriously known as being a fighter that brings it and looks to knock you out. She has high-level striking. I think this is going to be a fun fight. And even though we've seen some development from Lemos late in her career with her grappling, I just liked Lucindo's overall arsenal better. And she was learning the overall art of mixed martial arts from a younger age. She's much more mature as a fighter than her age says. 23 years old, but she already has 22 professional fights. She's been fighting since she was like 16. I like Lucindo. I think she could change levels, just mix things up and be the better fighter.
All right. And it's Lemos. So I was saying that wrong. It's Lemos.
Lemos, yeah.
Bill, you agree with that?
Yeah, I'm on the Lucindo side. She's younger. Better ground game. If you take Lemos down, she's not getting back up. So I could see Lucindo landing takedowns and just grinding her out.
Oh, Lucindo minus 135. Next up, Turner versus Bahamondes. I'm not even gonna. Damn, I probably butchered that.
No, that was correct.
Bahamondes.
Yeah.
All right, nailed it. So yeah, I don't know either of these fighters actually. So Bill, what do you like here?
I'm on the Bahamondes side. Both good strikers. Turner is very dangerous, but he's a dangerous early fighter. If you've seen in his losses, he starts to struggle once he gets into the second round. And Bahamondes has got good cardio, real long fighter. So yeah, I like Bahamondes here.
Teller, you agree?
Yeah, I like Bahamondes very much in this spot, especially where the line's at. I think that this fight is going to be a war. It's on the main card. Bahamondes he's really bringing it. He can knock you out early. There's been a lot of early KOs that he's been dishing out in the cage. But we saw, I think it was his UFC debut, where he actually took a split loss to John McDessie. In that fight, he was so bloodied up. They went to war. He showed his heart in that fight. Okay, so he's the type of fighter that's going to bite hard on his mouthpiece and push through any type of adversity, where we've seen multiple times with Turner, like Bill was saying, he'll start to slow down. He'll start to slip on a banana peel. He's coming off an atrocious performance in his last fight. He had Renato Moicano potentially finished in the first round. Yeah, he had him drop there, and he's looking at the referee for the ref to stop the fight. Meanwhile, he doesn't get the finish, and then in the second round, he gets finished as he's breathing all heavily. So I think Bahamondes can knock him out early, or as the fight goes to the later rounds, he takes this fight over.
Bahamondes, okay. Like it, minus 130. I'll tail. I'm down. Next one is Gaethje against... Teller, why don't you take this one first? I don't want to... That's embarrassing that I didn't know how to pronounce the name, so I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah. Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. This is a rematch. This fight took place about 2 years ago. And in that first fight, Fiziev was the favorite. I believe Gaethje closed as a slight underdog. Gaethje came in and he showed out. He lost the first round, but picked up the pace, took the last 2 rounds. Fiziev now comes into this spot 2 years later, coming off a brutal injury, right? In his last fight, he was in the main event spot. I believe he tore some stuff up in his knee. He takes this fight on short notice after losing to Gaethje, and he is still the favorite. Okay, and that has a lot to do with the fact that Gaethje was just brutally KO'd against Max Holloway in a fight that you guys are probably all familiar with. You know, he kind of looked like Sid from Toy Story, if you guys remember the way he used to sleep with his butt up in there. I mean, he was just out. And I mean, you have to think that you have to have question marks.
That fight you just referred to, isn't that the one where Holloway was losing to, and he had no reason to go back in and fight Holloway? And he was it if he could have just played keep away and won the fight, or am I thinking of a different one?
Well, Holloway was winning the fight for sure. He had the fight in the bag, and then he still entertained. He pointed down at the canvas and still entertained a slugfest and got that knockout with 1 second left. It was crazy. But Holloway already won the fight.
Right. So Holloway, that was just badass. He had no reason to go. Did it anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So so you like the favor here, Fiziev at minus 170.
I like Fiziev because even though he's taken this fight on short notice, everything that I've been seeing, he looks to be in great shape. He's been training hard for a while. He says the leg's completely rested up. He said he could have already had a fight last December. Okay, so he's healthy, looks to be in great shape. He's a high-level striker. He did take that first round, so I just think that he's probably going to land a strike that puts Gaethje out. I don't. That's what I'm sensing here. I'm sensing a knockout. I just don't trust Gaethje's chin. 36 years old. That KO was bad.
Bill, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm on Fiziev here too. I'm not worried about the short notice because he's been waiting for a fight. I think people have been turning him down, and he jumped at this opportunity. The first fight, he was faster than Gaethje, and he was hitting him with body kicks and some knees. And Gaethje has a really good chin, but just like Teller said, he's coming off that brutal knockout from Holloway, and sometimes it just takes that one to start the decline. So I don't love Fiziev at -170, and I think that if you wait till fight day, I think you can get a better number. I think people will jump on Gaethje as a plus money underdog. So I think you get a little bit better number on Fiziev late, but if you want to take the -170, it's fine.
All right, Fiziev as a favorite here.
And I'll just kind of say too, I agree with Bill there, and I'm not really crazy about that -170, -160 line on Fiziev. It's a closer fight than that.
Okay. And now the main event. Is this line crazy? I thought Pereira was
It
unbeatable.
comes down to wrestling.
So is Ankalaev going to be able to take him down?
He could, but he doesn't really wrestle aggressively. I think he's landed more than 2 takedowns in 2 fights in his career in UFC. He sometimes he's complacent to stand with people. So if he's gonna stand with Pereira, that left hook's gonna connect. It always does. So as much as people think that he's just gonna use Dagestani wrestling and take Pereira out, I think Pereira's gonna win.
Teller, I think it's on the other side. I could tell by his face.
Yeah, dude. Well, this has been a fight I've been waiting for some time. I've been barking about this fight for a long time. I've been saying that Ankalaev is the best light heavyweight fighter on planet Earth for 5 years or so. So I'm hoping I get to see it come to fruition here. Now, people have been saying that Ankalaev is not as high level of a grappler or high level as a wrestler as some people think, but if you really look throughout the light heavyweight division, I don't really think there's many fighters that are above him or on his level. He doesn't always use it, but it is in his back pocket. If you take a look at the Jan Blachowicz versus Alex Pereira fight, Blachowicz controlled Pereira for exactly half of that fight. It went to a split decision. It was very close. When Ankalaev fought Blachowicz, he dominated the grappling exchanges. He controlled Blachowicz down on the mat for almost 12 minutes in a 25-minute fight. He outstruck him. But it's not just the grappling that I think Ankalaev has in his back pocket. I actually think that Ankalaev is a lot more live to get a knockout on Pereira than people realize. Ankalaev is a high-level striker. In my opinion, he's more measured with his strikes. But you take a look at the front kick that he landed on Dalche Lingambula back in the day. I think half of his victories in the UFC are by way of KO. If you check the numbers, I believe 7 of 14 victories come by way of KO. And Alex Pereira gets very aggressive. We saw Israel Adesanya counter KO him. The first time when he beat Israel Adesanya, he was saved by the bell in the first round. He was doing the chicken dance. He was wobbled. And even in his last fight against Khalil Roundtree, even though he dominated and got the finish, he took some big strikes. He got hit with some big strikes in that fight, here and there. And I think Ankalaev is going to be measured. He'll be threatening to change levels, and I think he can knock Alex Pereira out. I think Magomed Ankalaev is the best light heavyweight fighter on planet Earth.
I'm doing it. I'm tailing. Ankalaev, I just looked. He hasn't lost a fight since 2018. I'm in.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, like what Teller was saying about Ankalaev being for years he was the uncrowned light heavyweight champion. They just weren't giving him the title shot.
Why is that?
Well, they did give him the Blachowicz fight was I think it was a vacant title fight, and it went to a draw. And then after that, they were just kind of like, all right,
it was John Bones' jet belt that got taken away or whatever. Is that why it was
I don't remember the circumstances of why it was vacant.
It wasn't Jones, but yeah.
It went to draw, and I think they were just kind of like, all right, we don't like this guy's style. We're not putting him in another title fight. And they made him work his way back up.
And that was a controversial draw as well. A lot of people thought he should have got the win there, even though it wasn't the best performance. And then if you take a look at his one loss, he was dominating the fight. He actually got submitted with 1 second left on the clock. He got caught in a triangle when he was dominating the fighter down on the mat. So
this,
I mean, he's a good fighter.
So you can make an argument this dude's like technically never been beaten.
Yes.
Yeah, and the loss to Paul Craig is very fishy because he got caught late in that triangle and like insta-tapped. It's like, was he throwing the fight? Like, it's very, very strange.
A long time ago, though, too, yeah.
Yeah, that was 2018, March of 2018. So we're talking, what, 7 years ago? Ankalaev, I'm taking it. Fading Pereira. All right. Teller. So for those of you that don't know, Teller's got a YouTube channel, goes through UFC. And if you like the way I do the NBA and NFL videos, his videos are very similar. He's got the green screen graphics coming up with ticker. Looks really cool. So where can they find your stuff?
Yeah, man. It probably looks a little similar because I've been watching you, Kyle, for a long time, man. So I look up to a lot of the work that you put out there, man. And I'm on YouTube at you can just look me up by MMA Fortune Teller. So the name of the show, Walk the Line with the MMA Fortune Teller. I'm on Instagram at MMA Fortune Teller and all that. You can find it all on my YouTube.
Yep. And Bill, I know you're not the biggest social media guy. Bill works with us at the Sox Network, so you can find his stuff posted on the website in the Discord. But is there any social media you prefer they follow you if you were to throw one out there?
I don't tweet that much, but yeah, it's just, if you want to follow MMA Degenerate on Twitter, yeah, I'm on there.
Cool. All right, let's have a good weekend. I'll be placing some bets and watching this one, getting back into UFC for the summer. Bet responsibly, everybody. Talk to you soon.